Alright, this is a video I've been super excited to get done and bring to you. I've been waiting patiently for this guy since they announced him. And finally, I actually got this off eBay. Before anybody asked, there was a seller on eBay who had like 20 of these last week. A US seller for 28 bucks. So I paid the $8 extra and got him because I'm super... Like, BRAINSTORM was one of my favorites as a kid. I really like his characterization in the current comics. And I think he's really well done here, so I had to, I couldn't wait. So, like, and that really wasn't a bad price, all things considered. So they should start hitting soon. We've seen RC and Chromia are hitting stores now. He's the next wave of Voyager, so he should be showing up in retail soon, but there are some US sellers starting to get him. Like I said, this was a seller on eBay. There's also, I think, Transfan 2 Shop and Look is expected to get him in next week. Or I guess this coming week. So you should be starting to see him show up at retailers very soonish. And it comes in a standard Generations packaging with some cool art on it. Let's zoom on up here. And then there's just a quick little bio on the back, which is a little... it just says the head converts to pilot. There's no mention of Arcana himself in here, which is a little bit of a shame. But it does have the bio for his comic incarnation, who is not currently a headmaster, so... that's fair enough. Now, it is based off of, I believe it's Nick Roche's design. Alex Milne draws him most of the time in More Than Meets the Eye, but I think Nick Roche did a lot of the original character designs for More Than Meets the Eye, and if I'm wrong on that, my apologies to Alex. But yeah, so here he is. He's a spaceship. Then he does have the landing gear that can fold up, and it's pretty much the same transformation as the old toy, where you just kind of fold up the legs, fold up the arms, flip the cockpit, or not even the cockpit, the nose of the jet piece around, and it's a jet. But it's a nice looking jet. It's a very sleek looking vehicle mode, and I like it. Now the instructions show these sitting a little further forward, and it's just not possible. This is how they all plug in. Everything plugs in together. So if you see it from the instructions, it looks a little different. But still, the feet stick out a little bit back. If these did sit forward a little bit further, it would look a little bit more streamlined. But it's not a bad jet mode, all things considered. And right up in here, you pop the pilot out, and he's pretty cool. He's got his legs are stuck together. He's got the same kind of headmaster legs as before, but his head is on a ball joint, which in turn makes BRAINSTORM's head on a ball joint, and then his shoulders are on ball joints. Now, they move very limited. They can only go out a little bit, because like also his arms are you can see his arms inside there, but his arms are the entire side of BRAINSTORM's head, which is a little disappointing. But for the most part, it's not too bad. I do, like I said, with all the engineering they've been putting into this guy, I would have liked to have seen maybe arms that fold in half or something to form the side of the head, instead of just these giant panels. But I do like the look of the headmaster in general. Go ahead and just fold him. We basically just put the arms to the side, fold up the legs, and there you have a very comic-looking BRAINSTORM's head. In vehicle mode, also before we get into the transformation, here he is with Toy World's offering, which just wow. I think it's clearly, like, I really like the Hasbro one by a huge degree in this mode, and considering it's like a fifth of the price, there you go. And here it is with the Fans Project Headmaster line, and again, I think vehicle mode wise looks a little sleeker over here. I still think in general, I like both of them. I like him for a very comic accurate BRAINSTORM. I do still, like, this has not diminished my love for the Function X Smart Robin, because his transformation is just still zany and crazy and does a lot of really neat things. Hey, stop rocking the boat. And one last thing about the Headmaster before we get into the transformation is that when he's in robot mode or he's in little person mode, he doesn't hide the face. So Fans Project still kind of wins that one, in that he does just have the face on the back of his body. Nice homage to the old G1 ones, but considering some of the engineering we're seeing on these new guys, it would have been nice if maybe he could have had a little flap or something to hide the face a little better. But there he is as a head, and you can see he's got a little ball joint neck. for when he's attached to the robot mode, which we'll get to right now. Now, like I said, it's a very basic transformation. There's not a whole lot going on here. You pull the arms out, flip them up, rotate them there at the bicep joint, fold these flat. These come out a little bit. Bring the legs down. Helps you open them up a little bit to fold this, unpeg this, fold this up and around the back, and there's a peg right here that pegs in right here. And you can see where the feet peg in. The legs right here peg into the back of the body right here. So you fold it up and peg it in, bring the legs down. They do have some nice ratchets there in the hips. Open up these panels and fold the feet down. The feet are long, but they do have ankle tilt in them, which is nice. Bring them down. Come up here, let's see if we can get the whole body in here. And then you open up these panels, flip out the hands, just like that. And then you take the head. Now this little slot here on the back of a head fits in a tab here. You can see there's like a little tab hook here in there. That's gonna lock it in. And when you lock it, when you plug it in, it should pop the tech specs in his chest. And if it doesn't, and there it is locked in place properly. If this doesn't lock the tech, if it doesn't pop the tech specs, just push down on this right here. Wow! I've never seen his head pop off like that before. But yeah, this is the release mechanism. You push down on this, and that you can see it moves that lock to unlock the head in robot mode. But it also, I don't know if you saw, the tech specs flip down on the inside the cockpit. It's actually the back of the seat here. Getting it back up is a little difficult. But you just flip it up and lock it into place. And then, actually, I'll leave the cockpit open. When you push on this, it flips those down. Normally it goes a little faster than that, but oh well. There we go. There you go. Flips the tech specs down. Now you can, I know Bolt Matrix did his and had a issue where his head went too far in. And I think you can see actually here I've pushed it down past that gimmick. And you can kind of push on this. And if it goes too far, it's going to get stuck. But I found if that's the case, if you kind of grab it and instead of pulling straight up, kind of rotate it forward, it should pop out. Come on, you. There we go. Yeah, you just kind of grab by the sides and kind of rotate it forward as you pull up, and it should pop right out. But the trick is when you're putting it in, what I do is I kind of hook that tab in behind into the locking mechanism and then just push it down instead of pushing it down too far. Actually, I just stuck it down too far again. But again, just rotate it forward and it should pop right out. Unless you get a misassembled one like his, which is a super pain in the butt because that sucks to have that break. But yeah, so now you can see he's got a ball jointed head. And this is one of the issues I have with it. It's like in some positions it's really tight. And in some places you can see it's kind of loose because they're using that same, like if you ever mess with the Creos, they're using that same kind of, instead of an actual ball joint, it's just like that rubbery plastic that they've screwed into it. It's that same kind of rubbery coated ball joints that kind of sucked on the original Creos. So you can get a decent position out of his head, but there are a couple of spots where just for whatever reason the rubber socket inside the body of the headmaster and the rubber ball on the end of the neck peg just don't play well together, and it doesn't want to give you any friction. But for the most part, yeah, I haven't had, I guess, aside from a couple positions where it's floppy, and even then, even when it's floppy, you can still get it in a position, but it does in a couple positions like to get loose. But I can see you still turn his head and give him all the up and down posability. You can have him look up. It's just pretty much like right over here in this general area where like something about the rubber just doesn't meet properly. But for all the positions you'd really want his head to be in, it's been fine on mine so far. Now this is the official robot mode here with the wings out. And that is how he's portrayed in the comic books. And in hand, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it looked in some of the original promo pictures. I thought the wings were a little overly large. And I still kind of feel that way, but not quite so much. what I don't understand is like all the official promo pictures show him with the wings out, and again, that's in the comic book he does have the wings, but they don't seem quite as big next to his overall mass. But they, just like the original toy, and even to pack him in the box, there are hinges here, and I find it looks way nicer to just fold these back, and then you've got a little bit more of a streamlined robot. So it's entirely personal preference. You can flip them out and have them look like the comic, even though I think they are slightly on the large side for the rest of his body, but you can just fold those back and get him out of the way. Now the pistols up here, again in the comics these are sitting up here on his back, but just like the original, they do come out and form a couple of pistols for him, which fit right into his hands, and there you got him all armored up, or armed, I guess, armed up, ready to roll. Ready to shoot some Decepticons, or maybe Decepticons, I don't know. He's going to shoot somebody, is what I'm getting at. So yeah, but there he is. I was super stoked for him. I'm glad I didn't have any of the quality control issues, because he's been one of my most anticipated mainline figures of the year, and I thought he was never going to come out. So to actually have him in hand is, I'm super thrilled about it. Quick size comparison again here with Toy World, or with that's Fans Project, and this one's Toy World. I was reaching for Toy World while I was putting the Fans Project one up, just to give you an idea of which Brainstorm you want. And again, I love Fans, like the Toy World one is really just kind of down and getting me down now, because I really like Fans Projects for the transformation and some of the neat things it does. It doesn't have the faceplate. It's more of a representation of the Japanese Headmasters cartoon versus the American. But I have to say, like, considering it's like 20, I think it's about $20. It may be 22 now at some stores, but definitely worth picking up the official Hasbro version. They just really killed it on this one, and I really, really like it. I'm saying really a lot, and I apologize for that. This one's had me excited for a while. Like I said, I love the characterization of him in the fiction we're getting right now, and to finally have a plastic representation of that's done so well is really, really nice. Watch out for the quality control issues. Some of it you may be able to spot in the box. Like the way he's packaged, you might be able to see if his head's jammed in there too far when you're looking at him. You might be able to shake the box and see if his head is loose. And that's the only. So apparently, some people have had a floppy wrist joint. I haven't had that issue. If anything, that his left wrist is almost too tight when it's folded in. You have to really kind of push it to get it to come out. But the wrist seemed fine on mine, and I didn't have that problem with the neck getting pushed too far in, which seems apparently a couple of people have had it. So just keep an eye out for that. And if it does happen to you, take your time and kind of wiggle it and try pulling it forward. Don't pull too hard, but pull hard enough to get it out. That kind of sounds counterintuitive, but when it's in your hand, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Just don't try to force it, and you should be okay with that breaking. And it looks like if it does pop off, it just pops off at the ball joint, and it looks like it could be easily glued back together. I'm assuming that's what Ball Matrix did. And then just real quick, here he is with a fellow scientist. Just to give you an idea of how he is with a mainline figure if you've seen Leader Jetfire. There's the two of them together. And I think they look really cool together, regardless of whether they hang out in the comics or not. I did paint some black onto the guns on the chrome, just to shake it up a little bit on him. But yeah, he's a really great figure. I'm really happy with him. Basic transformation. So if you're looking for a big, exciting transformation, this guy's not going to do it for you. But if you're enjoying the comic, this you want to pick this guy up. This is a really great representation of the Brainstorm we're currently seeing in the comics. Plus, you get the cool little headmaster dude.